Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Sunday show. Today is Sunday, April 2nd, 2023. Not April Fool's Day anymore, thank goodness. Anyway, listen, guys, I'm going to do a short show, but what I want to tell you is there's going to be no story until next Sunday. But we're going to do a short show here. We're going to talk about a number of things in the news. Believe it or not, California. I just want to say, I'll probably be on Wednesday. I'm probably going to take a couple days off. Next Sunday, I'll be doing a story, and we'll see you guys later this week. Anyway, California's banning Skittles. Well, they're setting their sights on banning Skittles. I don't think they've banned them yet. But, well, it says a lawsuit was filed in California last year alleging that Skittles are unfit for human consumption. Many dangerous additives currently banned in the EU and other nations found in processed food and candies that are marketed to children of low-income consumers. So, are they going to ban Skittles? I don't know. Next story I want to talk about now. This is important for you guys. Weather trends have been changing. And we all know in the Midwest, there's an area called Tornado Alley. It's very possible that Tornado Alley is growing larger or shifting eastward. It says death toll rises as wild storms rip through the Midwest and the southern United States. So the southern United States has been getting impacted by these storms more and more, and it's starting to turn into like it's part of Tornado Alley, what they used to call Tornado Alley, which was a very small area in the Midwest. I think now, due to the weather changing and due to climate change, it's possible that Tornado Alley is going to take up a lot more states in a lot larger area than it used to. Because these storms are actually killing a lot of people. Look, it said the storms possibly dropped dozens of tornadoes are dropping out of the sky. And you don't know when they're coming. Oftentimes they come in the middle of the night. Now, there are solutions to this. In your garage, or maybe in your house, or maybe even in your backyard, you can build a tornado safe room. And yes, you can build it yourself. It's an extra strong room that's not very big. It's just big enough for a few people to cram themselves inside. About the size of a car. Well, a little bit smaller than a car, half the size. But, it's not very big. It's just a small room that's built and constructed in a way where it's much stronger than like a regular house or anything like that. It's reinforced, generally with steel, concrete, bolted down to the ground so it won't move. And you climb in the side there and you shut the door behind you, and you got a little vent to let air in and out. And when the tornado hits, why, you might come out. I'll tell you a story. And this is a true story. There's this guy, he built one of these little rooms just in his closet. And basically, he did it himself. He went and he got cement blocks, in his closet. And he lined the inside of his closet with these cement blocks, and he filled them with concrete, and he made the room. It was no bigger than it was the size of the closet. A closet's pretty small. That was the size of his room, his tornado room. Well, sure enough, he lived in a community with all these big oak trees and stuff, and trees everywhere, neighbors on this side, neighbors on that side, your typical suburban neighborhood he lived in. So the tornado warnings went off, and he ran for his room, and he shut the door behind him. He heard a roaring sound. So it was in the middle of the afternoon, And he stayed in there until the roaring sound quit. And he opened up his little door on his little room. And he stepped outside and his jaw dropped open. Because not only was his house gone, the only thing that was there, it was a big field. That was all that was left. It was just his little tiny room he had built was the only thing left standing. He was alive, but everything else was flattened. There was just little pieces of twisted insulation and on the ground, just like a lawnmower had just rolled right over it. His whole neighborhood was gone. His house was gone. His neighbor's house was gone. The neighbor next to him, all the houses, everything, the trees, the oak trees. It just, the scene was so completely different and foreign to him. He didn't even understand what he was looking at. He was like flabbergasted. He's like, my whole neighborhood's gone. My house included everything. The only thing that was there was that tiny little tornado house that he had built for himself. Tiny little in his closet. Amazing story, but it actually happened. Now, here in other news, the Chinese. You see this bug? This green-colored bug. I mean, it's only a tiny, 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 tiny little thing, and you're looking at it under a microscope. Evidently, they're taking genetic tissue, the Chinese, from that bug, and they're mixing it with embryonic stem cells, human stem cells. And what they're trying to do, they're trying, I guess, to make a shot that they can give you in your arm, and you'll have billions of these little bug enzymes inside you. And I guess it'll bind to your DNA or whatever. And you will be a radiation. You'll be able to take radiation. You'll be able to, it says it could lead to super tough soldiers who can survive nuclear fallout. But, I mean, they're going to introduce this bug into your DNA. And but my questions is, what would the side effects be? Maybe you'll start growing antennae out the sides of your head or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they don't know either. But it'll stop. Evidently, it stops 90% of the radiation, so that you can bear the radiation. Well, maybe they're planning on a world where everybody's going to be radiated. And so we all have bug juice in us. I don't know what's going on with this, but it's like it says here, unprecedented Chinese genetic experiment may lead to an army of radiation-resistant super soldiers. Okay, here's a real stress test, to the U.S. economy. The real stress tests, these stress tests they do to the bank are all fixed, But the real stress test is going to be that all the businesses and stuff are starting to go under and bankruptcy. And they have to file bankruptcy, and it says that these amount of bankruptcies that are happening right now are blowing past the COVID era peaks. Credit stress is building for small businesses, and they're just, it's there's so many things happening. Like in 2008, we were able to focus on the mortgage crisis of 2008. But these crises that are occurring right now are just as big, and nobody's paying any attention because there's so many other things happening out there to pay attention to. And they're not carrying the story so much. So we're in a crisis right now. We're in a financial liquidity crisis, a banking crisis, a credit crisis, credit stress, businesses going under. The whole economy is actually sinking right now. And a lot of people are not really noticing it because they still got their jobs in their little world where they're located, perhaps in some small town USA, hasn't really been affected by this so much yet. I say yet, because this is a growing crisis. But how long is it going to take the dollar to fall in all of this? It's going to take a while. You have to understand that the U.S. dollar is the world reserve currency, and it has the world reserve currency status. So even though the BRICS are applying a lot of pressure against the US dollar is so huge. When something's so huge like that, it takes a long time to fall. It takes a while. It's not an immediate thing. But what's immediate is you're going to notice food prices are going to go up first. And then the prices on everything else you buy is going to continue to go up. And that is your signal that the dollar's losing strength. When you see gold and silver prices going up, it means they're losing control of the dollar. But it's going to take a little while, you know. We're on the ground floor still yet with gold and silver, as respects gold and silver. And take a look at this article here. Silver prices could touch a 9-year high. Now this is guys, this is mainstream news. When they're carrying the story, you know it's going to be a big story probably pretty soon. Hasn't broke yet. That's why I say the train hasn't quite left the station yet. It says silver prices could touch a 9-year high in 2023 with a bigger upside than gold. It says insufficient supplies of silver is listed here. And silver could hit a 9-year high of over $30 an ounce this year. Now, what kind of yield are you getting? See, they always say, okay, silver and gold's got no yield because you're just buying money. But you know, silver and gold, when they go up in price, they give a yield. And they're getting ready, and they're admitting it here. They're probably going to go over $30 this year. Now, what percentage is that? Now, that's the spot price. You know, you're still going to have those premiums and stuff. But the thing about it is including the premiums and stuff, the price is going to go up a percentage. So you're probably looking at, I mean, right now, if the spot price is like $23 or whatever, you know, and you're paying $30, $7 basically over spot for premium. And when the price goes over 30 on the spot price, and when you include the premiums, you're probably going to be looking at well over 40. So, I mean, it's not real hard math. I mean, you're probably going to make 20% on your money if that happens. But it's not guaranteed. You see, some of these things you invest in, like money markets, your T-bills and things like that, you know, you can get almost a guaranteed yield. But it's only small right now. It's only like 4 or 5%. This is probably a yield of 4 times greater, but it's not guaranteed. It's not a guaranteed yield. But silver does have a floor under it, and that's the cost to produce it. That's the mining cost. So you do have a certain amount of guarantee there that it's not going to go below a certain price, because then they can't mine it any longer. So you got to make up your own mind what you want to do with your money. It's your money. And you got to figure it out for yourself. But you got to weigh your options. And is silver a good fit and a good option for you? You got to do your own due diligence. Listen, thank you guys. And we'll catch you guys in probably around Wednesday. You guys have a great afternoon. And thank you very much for tuning into my show. And we'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.